Good.
Yep.
Good evening, everybody. We'll call this meeting of the Buckfield Select Board to order for November 18th, 2025 at 6:32 p.m. And we do have a quorum. Sandra is off at the county budget hearing tonight. She's working on that for us. Old business. Buckfield Rescue 451 remount proposal.
So this got tabled last meeting. We're kind of still up in the air, but Sugarloaf Ambulance has provided us with a new estimate, barring one identified error, which we talked about prior to the meeting. The chassis that's listed on it is a 2025, but it would be a 2026. So there is a slight price difference on that, which is, instead of $49,820, it's $53,126, which is a $3,306 increase from what's listed on the estimate. In order to get us in line, we have to order that chassis. Like I had said at the last meeting, the board had already approved up to 60,000, which still covers this. Before I communicated that with Sugarloaf again, like we did in 2024, I just wanted to make sure we were still thinking that this was the best course of action for that ambulance moving forward. So I'd like to discuss it so we can get moving forward with something on this one way or another. Oh, and there's a copy of the loaner agreement, which Sandra had requested at the last meeting. One of the questions was centered around repairs. And in the agreement, it says any maintenance or repairs required during the term of this loaner agreement shall be paid for by the authorized users up to an aggregate limit of $500. Sugarloaf will be responsible for all repairs and maintenance in excess of the $500 limit, unless caused by negligence of the authorized user. So minor repairs, wear and tear stuff, we'd have to take care of. Sugarloaf would take care of the rest. We'd have to add it to our insurance, obviously, and insure it for up to $55,000. And then I think the way this is worded is they transfer the vehicle to us while we have it. So it's in our name until the project's done, and then we transfer it back to them. So, I mean, it was pretty one page, but I think it outlines everything that Sandra was concerned about at the last meeting. I'd have to redo my calculations on what we're looking at. Rough number in reserve is 116. The 60 comes off the one. I came up with a total of 184,879.99. So that 53,000 will be part of that total because it's included in the estimate. So less that would leave us with a little bit, and I think we'd be looking at roughly 65,000, somewhere around there. 65,000 is what we'd have to come up with in the next 12 to 18 months, which if we continue to collect billing revenue at the pace that we are right now, there should be a little bit extra. So we can ask that question at town meeting to allocate that specifically to this, which would reduce it even more. But yeah, we gotta do something.
Yeah.
If we just fix 451 like it is, we're just burning through that 116 for. Sorry. I'd like to hear what you guys have to say. Or think.
Yeah, I don't think repairing it is the way to go. Right? I think you're just burning money. And if the remount you think is a viable option, then...
So the box, that box has never been remounted. So it should, in a perfect world, be able to be remounted 3 times, at least twice. So the fact that it hasn't been remounted is good. It's always been the plan that I wanted to go with through the former chief and the current chief. We just had that period of radio silence from the vendor. The vendor is obviously now in communication with us. He's responding to my emails. He's been here in person. We've sat down and talked. Now that the communication is back, like, I'd like to move forward with it so that we can get this behind us and start focusing on what we need to do with the next unit in the next few years when that one needs to be remounted or replaced.
Yep, that definitely makes sense to me. I mean, and that was the original plan. was to remount, but we're not hearing anything. You gotta go with what you got, right?
Right. I have emails to prove it.
Yeah.
I've got a whole chain of emails that show that we were in contact. We said order the chassis. What happened, it doesn't really matter what happened, but chassis never got ordered.
Right.
We were told we were in line, then we were told we weren't in line. I want to get us back in line. And if they can get us in a loaner so that we're not having to worry about taking care of anything with that right now, then perfect.
Need a motion on that, or are you good to proceed?
I'd like a motion to proceed with the remount. We've already approved, like I said, I already have the approval to purchase the chassis.
Right.
I don't want to order the chassis and then find out that's not the direction you guys want to go.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah, yeah.
So I'll make a motion that we proceed with the planned remount on 451.
I'll second that motion.
Further discussion?
No, I'm in agreement.
All those in favor? Bye-bye.
Joanne, I.
Peter, I.
There we go. I think we might want to table this next one. Should we?
Yeah, there's going to be a few table items in my opinion, because we tabled the minutes. Now there's still not enough people to approve the minutes.
So we'll have 3 minutes to approve next time.
Oh, I just want to make sure. Yeah. So, because you don't have enough votes to approve the minutes from last meeting or the other meeting, because you weren't here at the last meeting, right? Yep.
All right, so I'll make a motion that we table the committee board assignment review to our, was it December 2nd
Yes.
Yes.
meeting?
I'll second that motion.
Thank you. Further discussion? All those in favor? Bye-bye.
Joanne, I.
Peter, I.
Consent agenda.
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
Further discussion.
For the sake of transparency, I figured on a monthly basis, when I do the financials, I can just include all that in your packets so that,
I saw the October financials were in there.
yeah, so that you can see it in advance. This is posted online, so if anybody wants to look at it, it's under the select board minutes on the homepage.
Yeah, monthly financial report.
But I figure it's a better way for all of you to see what's going on before the quarterly one. And then in regards to AP warrant 36, that one included an RSU payment, paving, and winter sand. So that was probably one of the biggest disbursement warrants all at the same time that I've had to do, but gotta get paid.
Yep. So the total on that's going to be $614,226.26. All those in favor? Bye-bye.
Joanne, I.
Peter, I.
Shoot, who made the motion?
I did.
Who made the second?
Joanne.
Joanne.
Perfect, thank you.
And now we have to table these 2 minutes,
Yep,
right? We don't, yeah, okay. So I'll make a motion. We table the approval of the October 21st, 2025 select board meeting minutes.
And I have a question.
Yes.
Is it the minutes of November 7th or 11th?
11.
The meeting was the 11th.
Yeah.
Sometimes I screw up. Did I write that on the minutes?
You did. Not on our one, when we were here the 11th, it said the 11th,
Oh, okay.
but on here it says the
Okay,
7th.
the minutes are right.
Yeah, I just want to make sure that.
Yes, it is the 11th.
Okay.
Good catch.
You want to do them both at the same time or?
Might as well.
All right, so I'll amend my motion. I'll make a motion that we table both the October 21st, 2025 select board meeting minutes and the November 11th, 2025 select board meeting minutes.
I'll second that.
Thank you. Further discussion? All those in favor? Bye-bye.
Joanne, I.
Peter, I.
Right. Town of Buckfield Commercial Solar Facility Moratorium Ordinance. Review and approve the draft. Lucky to have Bob here. Planning board. minutes. So I see we added commercial to it, which I think might help.
So this is the same exact ordinance, maybe we need to specify
Yes.
what a moratorium is. So a moratorium is a temporary pause on something associated with land use. So this would be a temporary pause to the development of commercial solar energy facilities. However, it's still considered an ordinance, so that's why it says moratorium ordinance. I know people have come in and asked, didn't we just vote down an ordinance? Like, yes, this is a temporary pause because currently the town of Buckfield has no guidelines, restrictions, anything at all. So what this would do is it would put a 180-day pause. It does, so the select board does have the authority to extend it another 180 days prior to the expiration date. But I assume that would be enough time for the planning board before annual town meeting, which just happens to be in 6 months. So if not, then we can look back at it. But it's a temporary pause. So the reason it says ordinance on there is because it is technically an ordinance. The only change to it that the prior one that was passed a year or so ago was it didn't address enforcement. So I added that the code enforcement officer shall be responsible for enforcing this ordinance. That way it's clear who enforces it, because sometimes ordinances are passed or moratoriums are passed and it's not really clear who has that authority. So that's the only change that was made minus the dates. The title's the same as what it was the first time. The board didn't extend it, so a new one has to be implemented.
And we had moratorium ordinance in the previous one.
Yep, nothing's changed with it.
It just seems like it's kind of redundant.
It does.
It's ordinance, but we're putting ordinance in.
So it's redundant in the sense that more people know what an ordinance is than what a moratorium is, but the law is very clear that it has to be done as an ordinance. So if you include the title ordinance, it's clear that it's an ordinance, aka a local law.
But we're voting on it as an ordinance, right?
I know. I mean, you guys haven't approved this yet. If you want to strike ordinance and just leave moratorium, you can do that. I just left it exactly the way it was.
I think there's a conflicting perception, right? Like an ordinance is a permanent thing and a moratorium is a temporary thing,
Yep.
right? So it's temporary, permanent,
Temporarily permanent.
right? So I just think there might be some confusion.
And it's hard to explain to people that a moratorium is an ordinance, and the state law is very clear. It has to be passed as an ordinance. So, I mean, an ordinance doesn't have to say ordinance in it, but
Right.
so, I mean, if you guys vote to adjust that and remove ordinance, we can just leave moratorium. I won't get offended. I just copied it from the prior one and up to you.
I think it makes sense.
Eliminate.
Yeah.
Make the ordinance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That way, it's, we're just voting on this temporary hold. People see ordinance and it's like, oh no, now we're gonna have to go through a whole special town election and, to get rid of it or something like that.
Yeah.
So,
And I'd urge people to read it
yes,
because it actually spells out that it's only good for 180 days and that if you don't extend it, it expires.
Mhm.
So, but they were in every one of those booths and I know a lot of people didn't look at them.
yes, I think that was the biggest thing I got out of it is I haven't talked personally to anybody that wanted commercial solar farms. But the opinion afterwards was they thought it was approving solar farms or an acceptance of solar farms. I think there was some confusion there, not enough education or something.
Yeah.
And then there was another piece of people who wanted solar farms thinks that it generates additional tax dollars.
To an extent, not a significant
Not a
amount.
significant amount. So if that's the case, then you have to start zoning them differently, right? Taxing them differently. So
Which we don't even have established
we don't.
solar assessments in Buckfield, so
Right.
we'd have to
You'd have to establish those.
establish that with the assessor and working with other towns that do have this sort of stuff, and then
So that's the misconception in the community is they think that by saying no to solar farms, you're saying no to business, you're saying no to tax dollars, you're saying, but it's really doesn't generate that much more. So
right.
unless we choose to.
But again, it has to be assessed at fair market value. What is fair market value on a solar farm? So that's going to take a lot of research and stuff that needs to be looked into. And
Yes.
they just recently changed before certain solar facilities of a certain size weren't, you couldn't tax them, but then the legislature changed it and now you can tax them. So there's a lot of stuff that the town of Buckfield's not ready for because, and we're going to run into it now because there's already going to be one. So we already have to start digging into how do we assess this equitably, not just throwing some random number out there that isn't fair to anybody. Even with the way the building permit was written, when the first one came in prior to any of these discussions happening, it was, how do we bill for this? Because we do everything by square footage. So we determined that it was square footage of all the solar panels. So that company had to go out and measure and figure out how big all the solar panels were and add all that together to come up with a square footage amount that we could then put a figure on. So, our building permit ordinance doesn't even address that, which still needs to be rewritten for the ADU multi-building thing that the state did. So, but yeah, we got off topic on that one. So going over you guys think that striking ordinance out of it and just leaving moratorium
I think so.
Mhm.
I think it's
takes the
just,
stigma out of
I
it.
think it's just, that's just like a pause button.
So it'll be Town of Buckfield Commercial Solar Energy Facility Moratorium.
Yes.
Mhm. So you need a vote to approve that,
With change.
the change, yeah. So I'll make a motion that we approve the commercial solar energy facility moratorium with the changes outlined.
I'll second that motion.
Further discussion? You online?
No.
All those in favor, Bob, aye.
Joanne, I.
Peter, aye?
Right. Special town meeting warrant review for December 2nd, 2025.
This is just the second part of that. Obviously, we have to post the warrant for the special town meeting. I know I've said it online and to people in person that have come into the office because there was a lot of concerns over, well, if you'd write the question clearly so that we understood it, maybe we'd vote. So it's different because it'll be open floor, so we can explain this to them. But the state statute says this is how the question has to be.
Right.
Which the question's going to say, shall an ordinance entitled Town of Buckfield Commercial Solar Facility Moratorium be enacted? That's the only way we can ask the question.
Right. And I think the problem with the one previous is if the intent of the ordinance was to ban all commercial. So in the title, it had to say something about no commercial solar farms, right? It has to be in the title in order for it to be on the ballot.
Mhm.
Yep.
So live and learn, I guess.
Yeah.
So outside of the first question, which is to elect a moderator, which is required, Article 2 says just that. And then copies of the moratorium will be attached to the warrants that'll be posted. They'll also be available here and posted online. That's all that's going on at that meeting. There's no other questions.
Yep.
There's nothing else that is being addressed.
And like you said, we'll be able to explain exactly what the moratorium is.
Yep. Are my dates right on this? December 2nd.
You just need to strike ordinance.
Oh, yeah. Even though it's a shell and ordinance.
Right.
But it's redundant.
Well, it's redundant, so why add it, you know?
Yeah,
So I struck that. The date's right, 6 p.m. Yeah. Be posted by the 25th. I got plenty of time. I'll just need a motion to approve, and then at the end of the meeting, try not to take off because I'm gonna have to go print a copy off that doesn't say draft on it, so that you guys can sign it.
all right, so I'll make a motion that we approve the special town meeting warrant for December 2nd, 2025, with the changes outlined.
I'll second that motion.
Further discussion? All those in favor, Bob, aye.
Joanne, I.
Peter, I.
Great. Buckfield Sumner Swap Shop Ad Hoc Committee.
I was kind of hoping Azalea would be here tonight.
Yeah,
So you guys had voted to create that ad hoc committee or establish that ad hoc committee for the purpose of planning and figuring out building a new building over there.
yep,
And I've since received one application that I don't really know what to do with because where it involves Sumner, I feel like they should be involved in the decision making too, even though you're the ones that established it.
right.
So in your packet, there's a copy of there's a draft of bylaws that basically says that appointments to the committee will be made by both the Buckfield and Sumner Select Boards. So if you guys appoint one, I'll forward it on to Sumner and then let them do their thing and appoint them, and then it'll be official, just so everybody's on the same page.
Oh, okay.
And it also outlines, I don't know why I can't find mine. It also outlines basically what their purpose is. So that's kind of why I hoped Azalea was here. Because, so it says the committee shall develop a proposal for the design, structure, and location of the new swap shop. Propose operational guidelines, including acceptable items, staffing or volunteer models, and safety oversight measures. Ensure that the swap shop is not a financial burden on the taxpayers of Buckfield or Sumner. Explore and prioritize the use of in-kind donations, volunteer labor, grants, sponsorships, and donated materials for both construction and ongoing operations. And provide recommendations to the Buckfield Select Board and Sumner Select Board for approval. We could change that to the Buckfield Sumner Solid Waste Committee. The reason I didn't want to put in here that the Buckfield Solid Waste Committee would make the appointment is they meet twice a year, and it's just easier for us to approve and then send it to them, and then they can do it, and it'll happen in a couple weeks. So that was kind of the gist of what I thought she was looking for in a committee or an ad hoc committee for that purpose, was to basically be the brains and the plan of how to get it back up and running if that's what they want.
Yep. Yeah, research, financial opportunities, whatnot. Yep.
So, I mean, we do have, obviously, we've been collecting, we've receipted for donation money specific for that purpose, which, as far as we're concerned, is the swap shop's money on how they're going to do this. It does say that the committee shall serve in an advisory capacity only and shall have no independent spending authority of taxpayer funds. So, you know, what they decide to do with the donated money to build this thing is, you know, they can They can talk about that, but as far as taxpayer dollars, they can't commit to us spending budget money
Right.
that we don't have. So I felt like that protected.
Yeah.
Us and Sumner. And then I just, for starters, 7 always seems like a good number to start with. They can always amend these and make a recommendation to you guys, but set up to 7 members. I put that it's residency in Buckfield and Sumner is not a requirement. However, says it should represent a mix of residents from both towns and may include staff, volunteers, or community members with relevant expertise. Other than that, it's pretty much consistent with other bylaws. But I don't know if you guys want to table it until Azalea's here to have some insight into it, because she's really the one that
she's spearheaded this thing.
Yeah.
So.
I do have one application, so it's at least on the record, it's in here, and she'll have a copy of it in her packet. Mark Silber from Sumner put in an application. He was involved the first time around,
Yep.
so we'll just keep it on file until.
Yep.
And actually, we have a solid waste committee meeting
Coming right up.
that same night. We could discuss this with them on
Yeah.
December 2nd.
No, that's.
No,
20, it's the 21st.
21st, the same night as our
Joint
selectmen. Yeah.
staff board meeting. Yeah.
So really, yeah, that's Friday. So we could mention it to them and give them copies and stuff and see if they're okay with it too.
And that's here at 6:30, 6.
Please hold.
Make sure I got it in the phone. I think I do.
I guess we'll say same thing.
I want to say it was at 6. p.m.
What day was that?
Friday.
This Friday?
Yeah.
Remember, I sent you a text message. I said, what days work for all you?
Yeah.
This is before the election, Joanne, so I didn't
Okay, not me.
leave you outside.
I might be late, but
Is that the night of the school meeting too?
yeah, isn't that the same night as the school meeting?
That is.
That's why we did it. Oh, yeah. So it's supposed to, while you guys are already there,
Okay.
instead of having you come out on a different night.
Oh, yeah. All right.
Remember, so the solid waste committee has to vote to authorize me to spend the $38,000 that's been assessed to us by Maine Waste to Energy, which will lead us into the next
All right.
topic of discussion that's coming up here.
Gotcha.
So
All
we've
right.
got multiple things going on that night.
Yeah, so we're gonna do the school thing, so Hartford can get out of there when they're done, and then at the end, we'll have a quick solid waste meeting to discuss what's going on at Maine Waste to Energy, and then,
So busy. Ooh.
yeah,
Is it here? Or-
it's here.
Okay,
I told Hartford Summer we can do it wherever, but
okay.
nobody
Might be late.
wanted to pick, so I said, all right, Buckfield it is.
Yep.
Might as well.
Yeah,
All right.
it's basketball night, so we'll see.
Is it?
Yeah, they have a game against Telstar. But I'll try to be here.
So the purpose of the 6 o'clock meeting really is to discuss the next steps for the withdrawal. What topic are we talking about right now? We're talking about this. I'll get into it in other business just
Yeah.
so that we can go over where we're at right now.
Okay.
So yeah, if you want to table, just do a motion to table and I'll add it to the agenda for next.
All right. So I'll make a motion that we table the Buckfield Sumner Swap Shop Ad Hoc Committee and appointment to our
December 2nd.
December 2nd meeting.
I'll second that.
Further discussion? All those in favor, Bob, aye.
Joey and I.
Peter, I.
All right. Maine Solid Waste Energy Board Director appointment.
All right. So I informed you as well as the solid waste committee after our budget had passed that we had received a special assessment. Every town that's part of Maine Waste received a special assessment because their cash reserves are depleted. I think the agreement that they're supposed to have close to $6 million in savings, and that hasn't been adjusted for inflation, and really it should be 10 million. But regardless, whenever they have an outage or a breakdown or something, they're not producing energy or burning trash, they get billed by CMP, but then obviously they have costs associated with that outage. So they sent out a special assessment, and Buckfield and Sumner combined, because we're together, was 29,000. I was informed that we had till April to pay it, and it wouldn't be a big deal. The city of Auburn, who got an assessment of over $600,000, requested more information from Maine Waste Energy, which I don't blame them, so that they could bring it to the town council and, you know, justify why they were getting a bill for that amount of money. Well, in doing that, they recalculated how they were going to do it. The city of Auburn wanted copies of it, unpaid invoices, which they've since sent out to all the members. And all of a sudden, the bill is now net 15, and it's $38,000. So that's for what's going on right now. In the email that was sent to us, they said that they're getting into the money making season, whatever that means. But so, you know, they're kind of trying to, like, it's not as bad as it looks, and things will be better. And, you know, I don't know. All I know is I was not the board director prior to Weldon leaving. He was. So I really wasn't up to speed on everything that was really going on. Weldon kind of heard it. My very first meeting is when I found out there was an issue with reserves and that they were going to need money. That was the same meeting that they voted to increase tipping fees, which in my opinion, they should have done all along over the last several years, because we were paying the same as we were in 1990. And this was all after our budget was approved. So we had all this new pricing structure and costs that we didn't anticipate. So originally my thought was, well, we're good. The solid waste account has enough money to absorb that $29,000 increase, and that should be the end of it. Except I don't have much trust that it's not going to be the end of it. So I reached out to Glenn Holmes, because he was involved with MWAC back in the day, and he also works for the city of Auburn. He's a resident of Buckfield. He knows our town well, and discussed this briefly. And he made the suggestion that we appoint him for Buckfield as the director, or as the board director or board member or whatever they call him. And the only thing I wanted to do was clarify through the bylaws and everything that it was okay, because I noticed everybody else was a selectman or a town manager or a public works director. And I included copies of those bylaws, and there's nowhere in there that it specifies that it has to be one of those. So I don't see any issue with him being appointed. But I think with his relationships with other towns, plus Auburn, and his knowledge of it, he would be a better fit for trying to get to the bottom of what the heck's going on over there. Because at the end of the day, all these towns own a share of this company, and if it goes belly up, it's going to be bad for all of us. So I'm hoping that, or I'm asking you to appoint him so that he can try and delve right in and get to the bottom of it, and hopefully stop these special assessments that I fear are just going to keep on coming. And unfortunately, we're not going to have a solid waste bank account with any money in it by the time we're done. Because if we go over budget this year, once we pull 38,000 out, we'll be somewhere in the ballpark of 40,000. So we can't go over budget more than 40,000, or we're going to all have to ask for extra money or shut down the dump to save money. Which is why we had the discussion about fees.
Well, that makes sense to me.
So he's on board.
I think Glenn is a good choice.
Yeah.
He's smart. He knows a lot about a lot of things. He's involved, and he will hold people accountable.
Especially if there's stuff going on that.
Yeah, if there's something a little off, right?
Yeah. I think it's in the best interest of the town to let him go do what Glenn does.
Yes, he does. He does well.
Yeah. So if you agree with me, I just need a motion to appoint Glenn as the Maine Waste to Energy Board Director for the town of Buckfield.
All right, I'll make a motion to appoint Glenn Holmes as the Maine Waste Energy Director from the town of Buckfield.
Go ahead.
I'll second that motion.
Further discussion? All those in favor, Bob, aye.
Joanne, I.
Peter, I.
All right. Thank you, Glenn.
Yeah.
He probably forgot what he volunteered for, but I'll let him know.
Yeah, I'm just gonna message him, thanks.
Let him think about it.
Yeah. All right, other business.
Yeah, I know. So we'll jump into what I started to
Yeah.
get off topic on. So people have been asking like, where are we at with the RSU? Obviously, we're going to discuss it on Friday with Hartford and Sumner, but Alyssa, the town clerk, received an email Monday from the Department of Education saying, hey, my colleague said she read a news article, but we haven't seen a letter from the town of Buckfield. Well, I mailed out the RSU letter and the state letter on the same day, and I tracked the tracking number, and it was received at the state of Maine on November 6th at 9:30 p.m. So I mean a.m. So it's sitting on somebody's desk. So they asked us to forward them a copy so that they could get the director to get to the point where they direct you guys to create that committee. So we still have not heard back from them. I did send them a scan as well as the tracking information showing that it was sent and it was delivered. But I anticipate we'll be notified here shortly. Sumner's already been notified. I don't know about Hartford. Hartford was the last one to go out. So, but I know the RSU's received our letters because at the last school board meeting, they all had copies of Buckfield and Sumner's. They just didn't have Hartford's yet. So that's where we're at right now.
All
I'm
right.
just waiting to hear back from them. And then we're in a unique position because we have two school board directors. There's some confusion from other towns in this RSU 10 school board. So I provided you with a legal opinion from the town's attorney that tells you basically how it's determined which school board director will be on there. It's up to them to decide amongst themselves. The law doesn't really address if there's a disagreement between the two. However, what the attorney said was, as long as it's transparent and there is a disagreement and a decision can't be made amongst them, it should be up to the board to vote and determine who's going to be on it. So I just wanted to make sure you had all the information. I also wanted to make sure that the RSU 10 school board as a whole wasn't going to try and take advantage of Buckfield and try to tell us who they wanted, as opposed to it's your decision. It's a municipal decision. So I wanted to get ahead of it.
Yep. Yeah, that makes sense. If there's a disagreement, that it comes back to the select board to.
Yeah, of the town that's
Yeah.
opting to drop, right? I mean,
Yeah.
it should be up to somebody else to determine who we choose to be on that committee.
Right.
After the last school board meeting, I don't know if you've talked to anybody about names that were interested on being on the committee. I've heard from Michelle Casey, who was one of the circulators of the original petition. She said she'd be interested in being on it because somebody that circulated the petition would have to be on it, which was Judy, Michelle, and Brittany Allaire, I think. And then as far as who the resident at large or whatever, I know obviously you've talked to him in previous meetings and stuff. I know John Petroselli was maybe interested. I don't want to speak for him, but he put a lot of work in. I don't know, maybe Neil. I don't know. I'm just throwing names out there because once you do get the directive, you're going to have to figure it out quick, and we're not very good at filling committees real fast.
Right.
Probably doing a great job. So those were just names that were thrown out there, you know, people that expressed an interest. Outside of that, keep your ears peeled if you hear anything from anybody else, but
Okay.
it's a pretty fast process once we get that. I mean, I think you're seeing 60 days, 30 days, you know, there's certain things that have to happen, and we're already, 14 days after the election, and we still haven't heard back from the Department of Education, and we sent the notice out the day after.
Right.
Funny how that works.
But if you owe them money. So that's where we're at on that. We'll talk about it more we'll get more of a feel of what Hartford and Sumner are thinking, wondering.
Friday night.
As I read through the steps, all I saw was, whew, this looks like a lot of work.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
As it should be.
No, it should be. It's a lot of. But again, you couldn't get to this point without the approval to at least explore it.
Yep.
So we'll see.
All right. We don't need to take any action on that yet. We're just waiting for that letter.
No, yeah, that was just informational.
And people need to be thinking about who that wants to be on the committee.
Neil.
He's
I can't tell if he's laughing or shaking his head up and down yet.
Yeah. Right. Any other business? Bob?
Yes, for the planning board meeting is coming Tuesday, on the 25th.
Tuesday, the 25th planning board meeting. Yeah.
Here, 6:30. I would really like to have one or more of the selectmen there. We are going to be talking about the solar issue. So we get off on the right page.
Okay.
You have to hit a button to show your hand is up.
Yes, Judy?
I haven't heard you discuss the water company for a long time. How are they doing? I thought they were supposed to give us a report periodically.
Have you heard anything from them?
Former Selectman Henley was the liaison for that, and it's been vacant since, so
Oh. So we've lost our
do not
liaison
have-
for the moment.
yeah, I do not have any updates from the water company.
No updates on the water, but we'll check into it.
Thank you.
Yeah. And we'll try to get somebody there for that. Do you have a full committee at this point? I think.
Yes.
Yeah, I thought,
We have 4 people now. You
perfect.
approved the 4th last meeting.
Yeah.
Who's on the BBC?
Ah,
She's one of the assessors. Sorry, I just thought about that one. So she's on a few committees, so maybe you can get some updates from her when she's around.
okay.
I'll get you that. You now have 4. That's good.
That is good.
Better than when you started, when you were the only name on the list.
Yeah.
When did you say your meeting was, Bob?
Tuesday, the coming Tuesday, the 25th.
The 25th.
On the backside of the
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I try to put all the upcoming meetings on your agendas for the next
Okay.
2 weeks before, so that you guys are aware of what's going on. Sometimes I get the dates wrong though, clearly.
Sometime. That's all right.
Wonder who's on the planning board.
You know, everything that's on the committee is all brand new. So,
Aren't we all?
you know, we're just trying to take it slow.
Yeah.
Make sure we're doing things right.
Yep.
Taking all the comments.
How many members does that board usually have?
5 plus an alternate.
Okay. Okay.
2 of them did go to the planning board, like, basic class to kind of like give them a little bit of an understanding to it. And I think you said that you thought it was
It was good.
good.
It was good. Different. Like drinking through a fire hose at some point. But it was good.
Good.
I always.
Yeah, well.
Then they went into the fuel club. That's even more I.
When I was a selectman, we were assessors. And the amount of appeals on taxes or lot sizes I've not ever dealt with that, and it was just astounding. And I was like, yeah. It was,
Aren't you glad you don't have to do that anymore?
oh my God, no kidding. That was awful.
Thank you very much. We appreciate it.
Mm.
I've got it on my phone. Public comment, any other?
Neil shaking his head. Judy's muted. Smiling.
Yes, Judy, you got a, yep.
Oops, you
you're
get unmute
muted.
yourself.
Can you hear me now?
Yep.
Okay. Regarding the school withdrawal, we are getting zilch as far as publicity goes. There was a short article in the Sun Journal, but it never mentioned the fact that our towns had actually voted a fairly large sum, each one of them, to help us with the withdrawal if necessary. People don't know, have no idea. And many don't even know that we voted to withdraw. Anyhow, I don't know what we can do to sort of stimulate the Sun Journal, which does cover local news. They cover Avon and Kingfield strong. Why can't they cover us a little bit?
That's an excellent question. And
Steve Sherlock used to reach out to me for information, for comment. I provide him with the packets before meetings.
yeah, they lost that local
I-
connection, maybe.
No, I think he still works for the paper. I've seen articles written by him, but
He has some other things going on.
so I mean, I don't know. I know we went through a
If I,
couple of,
if I could mention something, so I know that the main monitor has been doing a lot of news reports about withdrawals, and one of their reporters did reach out to me about a week ago. I only replied to them that I wanted to wait for a reply until at least this Friday, as far as the meeting that we're going to have with all the three towns, plus maybe even discussing something with a lawyer that you guys will have, because I didn't want to say something out of turn or out of whatever. So the potential of having the main monitor do an article is there. We just need to get our facts in line and our story correct as how we want to present it.
Friday might be a good time to do that, huh?
I'm thinking this meeting's gonna have to be upstairs.
Yeah,
I will be there on Friday, just as a reference.
thank you.
Well, I replaced the light bulb, so nobody, it's not dark on the stairs anymore, so people can see their way up.
I'm gonna have to bring my cane.
But I'm gonna have to get that room set up because this room's not gonna be big enough.
Right.
Half the chairs are upstairs anyways, and so we'll just plan for upstairs.
Thank you, Judy, bringing that up. Appreciate it.
Okay, thanks.
Any other public comment or anything else? No? All right, well, thank you, everybody. I'll make a motion that we adjourn at 7:20 PM.
I'll second.
All in
I got
favor?
that on that one.
Plan.
Right. All right, thanks.
Water?